It's nearly impossible to ignore the presence of superheroes in today's cultural landscape. In movies, comics, books, games and television, people with extraordinary superpowers manifest the idea that having such powers is something that can happen to anyone. Indeed, most of us would love to have a superpower of some sort, be it for the sake of being powerful, or simply to make life easier for ourselves. We would all like to believe that fiction can become truth, and that extraordinary things can become reality. Some people take this will to a different direction, publicly proclaiming to have such supernatural abilities, and make others believe that they are in some way unique and powerful. In most cases, however, the truth eventually sees the light of day, and the pretenders get debunked in one way or another, proving that they are just people like you and I. Their stories and the buzz around them can still be fascinating to learn about, as deep down, would it not be nice for such things to be real? And they just might be. But here are 5 examples where they're not. Sit back and enjoy. Yoga Martha's third eye. Yoga Martha is a young girl from North Carolina who claimed to be able to see while blindfolded using her third eye, which in Indian spiritual traditions is the gateway to a higher level of consciousness. It's actually a fascinating topic which we will discuss in depth in another video, but for the purpose of this video, in 2015 she began touring around the United States accompanied by her mother, demonstrating her mythical skills in front of audiences. For instance, she can read the text on a piece of paper, know what someone is writing, and draw what they drew on the paper, all while being blindfolded. Take a look.
Can you tell us your name?
My name is Ma Yoga Mata.
Are you ready for the blindfold reading?
Yes. Director of successful and respected American business. First the green, then the orange, then the blue, then the blue, then the yellow, then the like a donut.
Wonderful.
While impressive to the lay observer, especially when the act is cloaked in a facade of Hindu mysticism, Yoga Martha's third eye sight is a fairly common trick in India, in which a person is insufficiently blindfolded and manages to see enough detail with their 2 normal eyes. In addition to this, some have claimed that Yoga Martha also has an earphone in her ear, and that the video in question highlights this, cutting intentionally during editing to hide the fact that an earphone was falling from her ear. The girl does seem to suddenly reach for her right ear just before the video cuts to a different shot. Would Yoga Martha tell you what you drew in front of her if you were the one choosing the blindfold and covering her eyes? She claims that if she's in a bad mood, she is unable to see through her third eye. So perhaps not. Interestingly, Yoga Martha is not the first, and most likely not the last, to claim to have third eye sight in this manner, that enables such supernatural abilities. Others claim to have similar powers, but many of them seem to originate from the same place. Unlike most people who claim to have superpowers, Yoga Martha claims that her powers are not something that can happen by chance, but something learnable. Specifically, she learned it from her guru, Swami Nithyananda, a self-stylist god-man who is believed to be a reincarnated Hindu entity. He founded a religious organization that hosts Hindu-related events in the United States, such as the 21-day Inner Awakening program, the attendance of which cost $12,000. He himself is quite a controversial figure. In 2010, a sex tape of him and his follow actress was released. Though he claimed that it was not him in the video, it was proven that he is in fact the man in the video. In addition, he is currently in court after being accused of raping a person over a nearly 5-year period. Bizarrely, he also claims that there is an afterlife banking system, and that it's possible to maintain one's wealth in life by giving all assets to his foundation, which will then transfer everything to the person's afterlife account. As Yoga Martha claims to have learned her powers from such a person, and her powers have been debunked to be a relatively common act, one can wonder whether she has been part of this act willingly or not. It's definitely scary to think about the implications of this. Unfortunately, people like this turn many people off from the real mysteries of the third eye. Frank Cannonball Richards. Frank Richards, known as the Cannonball, was born on February the 20th, 1887 in Kansas. Growing up, Frank must have realised that he had an abnormal level of endurance when it comes to taking in blows to his stomach. In the 1920s, aware of how immune he is to stomach trauma, Frank would let his friends punch him in the gut. He then joined the theatrical world of vaudeville, where he became an entertainer whose act was exhibiting how much punishment he could take. In fact, he claimed to be able to take more punishment from anyone else in the world, meaning that he had the strongest stomach of any man or woman. He was a big success, and his ironclad belly quickly became famous. However, as his fame grew, so did the bar for the punishment he could take, as being punched in the stomach is an act that can only last so far. Frank started to endure the blows to professional boxers such as Jack Dempsey, to let people jump on his stomach, and even started taking sledgehammer blows to his belly. No pain seemed to be enough for him, and the performances continued to be a success. Frank's most famous act, though, is the one which became his namesake, being shot in the stomach with a cannonball. Take a look.
Cannonball Frank Richards! A golden goofy classic on the old roof saying, so long and you're gurgling!
The pain was so severe that Frank had to limit the amount of shots per day to 2 only. But this is nothing to scoff at, as the average person would not survive a single cannonball shot. Taking punches to the stomach is one thing, but a cannonball, that would by all accounts be lethal, is another thing entirely. While some suspected that the cannonball was hollow, and in recent years that videos of the act are manipulated in some way, the truth is that Frank did take a 104 pounds fired shot to his stomach. But as strong and sturdy as Frank was, this act did require some alteration in order to keep him alive while doing so. The cannonball was spring-loaded, meaning that the force of the cannon firing was controlled and reduced in order to consistently be non-lethal. Frank was also no superhuman, as no man would survive a true, unaltered cannonball to the stomach. With that said, his feats of endurance are nothing short of incredible, and show how amazing the human body can be. Sometimes a show is simply a show, but that does not mean that there is nothing special about the performer. Incredible things can and do happen with no superpowers involved. Hong Kong teleporter. In 2011, a strange video began circulating on the internet. No one knows who was the first to upload it or where exactly it came from, but it appears to be filmed somewhere in Hong Kong. The video begins with what looks like a TV interview with a woman in a busy street. On the left side of the frame, a hooded man can be seen walking down the street when his hands begin to glow with blue light. Spotting this, the cameraman points the camera at the strange phenomenon. The hooded man soon notices that he is being filmed and makes a run for it. The cameraman chases after him, only to eventually film him disappearing, just as a bus is about to hit him. As people scream, the hooded man vanishes, as if he just teleported away. Take a look.
快板快板正面少少，嚟多個啲位後少少啊！做多睇嗰度，嗰條邊個人啊？得8個喎！喂係喎，喂快跟佢睇下。喂，睇住啊！係咪佢嚟㗎？
The video was circulating under different titles, each highlighting either the blue light coming from his hands, his alleged teleportation, or him simply being a Superman in Hong Kong. It can really capture the imagination, as the superpowers in view are not explained in any way, and add to the mystery. It made it seem like people with superpowers can and do live among us, and can be any passerby in a city. Although it's not clear who made this video, the video itself has been debunked by its fairly simple use of editing skills, involving special effects and masking skills, in which the image in the video is replaced by a different one without interrupting the video itself. Any adapt video editor can accomplish these effects with the same footage, and so the superpowers would appear supernatural only to those unfamiliar with video editing. Some have claimed that the video was done as an advertisement to promote a film. Indeed, 2011 was the year of the film I Am Number 4, in which a young man who is occasionally hooded has superpowers, one of which is blue lights emanating from his hands. This would certainly explain the origin of the video, but marketing or not, it is a debunked hoax and nothing supernatural takes place in it, unlike many videos on the internet will have you believe. Telekinetic Tiger. This one is similar to the Hong Kong teleporter in some ways, although much stranger, and some would argue much more convincing. Although it's not known who originally uploaded it, this video has been circulating around the internet since 2013. It takes place in a bus stop somewhere in Thailand, where an argument breaks out between a teenage girl and one of the bus drivers. The two shout at each other, while everyone around both in the bus and on the street watches and listens to the unfolding drama. We could explain it all, but the video speaks for itself, so take a look.
Cóวิ่งกันอย่างเงี้ยน้องไม่เคยนั่งรถเมล์เหรอสายอื่นน่ะเขาขับดีกว่านี้มารยาทดีกว่านี้รู้ไหมว่าสายเนี่ยโดนด่าจะไปทั่วบ้านทั่วเมืองแล้วใครคนไหนใครด่าป้าป่ะไม่ป้าป่ะน้องป่ะก็ไม่เห็นคนด่าเลยนี่มันหาเรื่องกันชัดเลยอ่ะลูกพี่ไม่ได้อยากจะหาเรื่องหรอกนะแต่แค่อยากจะเตือนไว้ว่าทำงานบริการน่ะก็ต้องใส่ใจผู้โดยสารดิไม่ใช่สักแต่ว่าทำแท็กซี่เลยไหมมีนะเดี๋ยวเรียกให้เอาป่ะเฮ้ยน้องนี่พอดีเถอะเราอะทำไมนี่เจ้ายังไงก็ว่ามาเรื่องนี้จบสักทีพี่เหมือนกันเป็นคนขับรถอะหัดทำให้มีมารยาทด้วยซื้อใบขับขี่มาเหรอเฮ้ยพูดอย่างนี้ได้ไงวะพูดจาอย่างนี้ได้ไงวะทำไมเฮ้ยพี่เฮ้ยเอ็งทำไรอะฮะเอ็งทำไรเฮ้ยมันทำได้ไงอยู่พี่เฮ้ยเอ็งทำอะไรอ่ะเอ็ง
Made to be an accidental footage of someone displaying their newfound telekinetic powers, the video was very convincing when it first started circulating. To this day, many have a hard time explaining what they were seeing. To its credit, the video is very well produced, and the reactions appear very believable, with long moments of tense silence, and no one knowing how to react. However, certain aspects of it give away its staged nature. Firstly, the camera is fixed at one position the entire video, offering no hint of a moving hand holding it, and reacting to what is taking place. And even zooming in and out to highlight when something is about to happen, such as when it zooms out before the girl pushes away the table, and then zooms in once again to everyone reacting to the table being pushed. Secondly, some have noted that the argument between the girl and the driver feels staged, due to how they wait for each other to finish speaking before saying anything. Much like the Hong Kong teleport, however, the biggest clue to this video being staged is the timing in which it surfaced on the internet. 2013, right around the release of the remake of the horror classic Carrie, a movie about a teenage girl with telekinetic powers. In fact, around the same time, another video about a telekinetic girl revealed her powers after arguing with a man appeared online, this one from New York. The New York video is known to be staged and was a hidden camera experiment meant to capture the reactions of customers in the cafe where the video was shot. Based on all this, we can conclude that, convincing as it may be, the Thai girl does not have telekinetic powers, and the video was most likely a successful marketing trick that went viral. Uri Geller. When discussing the topics of superpowers, it would be hard not to bring up the topic magicians and illusionists. It's important to note that most magicians do not claim to have powers, psychic or otherwise, but instead act so convincingly in their illusions that the audience makes that assumption on their own. It's therefore not an act of deceit, as it's never presented anything but a performance. One magician and illusionist does claim to have psychic powers, however, and that is the internationally known Uri Geller. We have talked about Geller on this channel before. Born in Israel in 1946, he became famous on television for performing acts of telepathy, such as bending spoons and keys, describing drawings unseen to him, and making watches run faster or stop entirely. Although other magicians have called him a fraud for claiming that he is a true psychic, and many of his acts were replicated by other magicians who claim no such thing, Geller has always remained adamant of his claim of supernatural power. In 2007, he hosted an Israeli TV show called The Successor, in which contestants competed for the role of being his successor by performing magic tricks, but regarding them as displays of supernatural powers. In one moment of the show, Geller moves a compass, claiming that it does so with the power of his mind. However, a YouTube video of this aired on an Israeli news show, in which it was highlighted that Geller is seen placing a magnet on his thumb right before successfully moving the compass. Take a look.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, זוז! לא מספיק. אל תפקצוני, זה פתרון. אתם יודעים מה? כולם פה באולם, תנו ידיים אחד לשני. קדימה, כולם. תחזיקו ידיים, ואני רוצה שהידיים יגיעו אליי לבמה. קומו ותתנו לי יד. תחזיקו להם יד. תחזיקו כולם ידיים, כולם, כל האולם. תחזיקו ידיים. אני רוצה שאתם תקומו ותבואו. מה שאנחנו מנסים לעשות פה, פשוט תעבירו אנרגיה חיובית אליי, או לתוך המצפן. תתקרבו אליי, קרוב, תעשי ככה. פעם אחרונה, אני באמת רוצה שזה יצליח. מוכנים? אני רוצה שתצעקו 1, 2, 3. זוז, אוקיי? 1, 2, 3, זוז!
Uri Ashkenazi, a known Israeli magician who hosted the news panel, said he laughed when he first saw the clip, saying that there was a secret to be relieved in Geller's act. Uri claimed that Geller is a fraud and that his act is dishonest. Interestingly, Geller was upset with the YouTube video and demanded the original clip be removed. He succeeded due to YouTube's copyright policies, but the internet did not let the story end there, and the video can still be found online. Although Geller's infamous bending of spoons and keys have been replicated countless of times, not a great number of his acts were ever caught on camera in this manner. This goes to show that no matter how convincing a magic trick is, it's not supernatural, and such bold claims of having superpowers are bound to be debunked sooner or later. So that's 5 people who claim to have had superpowers, who have all been debunked. Now this is by no means saying that people cannot have superpower-like abilities, because they certainly can, and there are many things in this life which cannot be explained. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.